Hi everybody, Dave here. So let's see here. Um, over the weekend I recorded a screencast, talked all about getting started with Project 4, going through the environment setup, and I did that because in class last week things got really kind of messy and I felt rushed. And I realized that we run the risk of doing the same thing again with Android in a couple of weeks. And even more so than Project 4, it's really important that people are able to develop an Android. As we'll see, Android requires a different development environment than the rest of the projects. As a matter of fact, we'll be installing a new IDE and then using that to download all of the parts of the Android development kit and all the tools that you need. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to make a dedicated screencast just for getting started with developing Android. We're not going to talk about the project. We're not going to talk about the specific things. We'll cover that in class. Um, but I wanted to start with I wanted to make sure that everybody can download, install, configure, and run a simple Android application. My experience in the past has been that there's sometimes things go wrong, and also more so than with the other projects, it varies from machine to machine. Some people have, how should we say, non-standard configurations for their development laptops on which the Android Studio and the Android Development Kit doesn't necessarily work, as well as plain old Java. And also, I've had a couple of students in the past have had machines that were underpowered and really weren't able to run Android Studio and do Android development because it takes a lot more system resources, more memory, more CPU, more disk too, but mainly memory and CPU than the other applications. And unfortunately, these students didn't get an early enough start on doing the Android work, and they came to me basically the week before the project was due and said, "Oh, I can't get started. What do I do?" And I said, "I don't know. I don't have anything for you." So I want to be able to identify anybody who can't develop Android early on, so we have a couple of weeks to figure everything out. In case it's necessary. Hope it isn't this term. I hope everybody has powerful enough machines to be able to run Android because it's really cool. It's really different. I've gotten good feedback on Android in the past in terms of giving students an opportunity to do something different. So I want everybody to be successful, but let's set everybody up for success by going through together the exercise of installing the Android development environment. Okay. So, I'll go into more detail in week 6. I realize this is now week 5, but you're going to start learning about Android, and I won't go into the assignment this week because many of you are just getting started on Project 4. Let's not put too much work in progress. But I do want to have everybody take, I don't know, half an hour, 45 minutes, an hour, or so, whatever it takes to get started with Android, just so you can make sure that so you can make sure your development environment works. So I'm going to open up Project 5 here, and let's see here. Down here, there is a link to getting started with Android Studio. I'll also open it up over here. Okay. Yeah, I'll take your survey later. Thank you very much. So Android has really great documentation. They keep it up to date as things evolve in Android. And this getting started page is really great. So when you develop with Android, the Android developers recommend, and I also recommend, that you use a tool called Android Studio. Android Studio is a customized version of IntelliJ that is tailored for developing Android. So this is what I recommend that everybody use. This is what I support in class, and I mean this is the official development environment for Android. I of course have read these terms and conditions many times, so I'm not going to go through it there. Please make sure that you understand things before agreeing to licenses. So now I'll download, and okay, it's downloading pretty quickly. Um, And the nice thing about Android Studio is that it's IntelliJ. It's what we've already been using in the course. A lot of well, a lot of the things seem familiar, and Android is Java programming, and so they use the industry-leading IDE for Java, and this is really cool because you have all the same commands that you're used to. You have the same refactorings, the same keyboard shortcuts. So a lot of the muscle memory that you've built up in the beginning of the course is still applicable as we're doing Android development. And so then it really is a separate application. And so we'll go through and install all of that now. Just like any application, this takes a while for all this stuff to happen. Okay, we'll drag Android Studio into applications. Of course, oops, your experience, may vary based on your operating system. Okay, now that it's installed, Android Studio, let's open it up. Yes, I trust it. And there it is. Okay, so Android Studio, one of its primary responsibilities is managing all of the Android pieces, parts that you need. So, the development tools and all of the emulators and everything else in between. If you watch the Android lecture, the fundamentals, the introduction lecture, it talks about all these command line tools for managing all of this stuff. That's really good for background, and yeah, maybe sometimes you'll need to use command line tools, but most likely you'll just be able to do everything you need to through Android Studio. But and it's really good at walking you through all the process. So let's follow what it has. So let's see here. Yes, API 30 sounds good. This is the latest stuff, so it is the R. Okay, and it downloads it to a library file on the Mac inside my home directory. That's good. So let's see here. Here's all the stuff that it needs, what it's going to do. JDK, it installs its own JDK, and that's fine. Android applications, I believe, still use Java 8, which you do Lambda syntax. That's great, but they haven't added some of the newer language features, and that's okay. You can get by without them. It's also going to install a whole bunch of other stuff: the Android Emulator framework, the build tools, the platform itself, all the tools for the platform, etc., etc. This SDK patch applier. Well, that's cool. I don't know. Okay, so go do that, and it downloads and installs a bunch of stuff. So this is where I'll put on the fast music. Okay, looks like it downloaded a bunch of stuff. That's cool. Finish this. And so then you'll probably see this screen. Let's see here. So probably the you can configure things from this screen. You can do other stuff, but you probably just want to start a new Android Studio project. Now it comes with a bunch of project templates, which make it easy to hey, a Google Maps application, or hey, something with a login screen. We're just going to let's choose a basic activity to start with. An activity is essentially a screen inside Android, and this will give us a nice beginning application that'll allow us to interact with some things, just to see what it's like to have an Android application. What we're going to do, not in this screencast, but probably in an upcoming class, is go through the code, start really exploring Android and how you work with it. But for the meantime, let's just start with a basic activity. Okay, we'll call the application phone bill. And okay, yep, we want to put it inside that package name, and And the save location you want to specify as something under version control. So I'm going to put it in my summer 2020. I recommend that you do the same. Instead of calling it phone bill, I'm going to call it phone bill dash Android. Oops, I'm going to spell it correctly. And we want the language to be Java. You might have an option like Kotlin. No, please choose Java. And for the minimum SDK, I've learned the hard way that you don't want to choose like the absolute oldest supported, even though it runs on the most number of platforms, because you don't. Because there are some libraries and stuff that you won't have access to. I recommend that you use something more modern. Let's choose API 26, the Oreo. Yep, okay, it's 60% of devices. That'll be good enough. And so now let's create a new project. Google IntelliJ, tips of the day, all sorts of great stuff you can learn. Okay, so it has started this new project, and it looks like, well, basically it is IntelliJ, right? Okay, it's nice enough to open up this main activity, which is this is the code for the main screen. Here again, we're not going to dive into all of this, but now the next thing I want to do is I want to be able to run my application. I've got all the source code here. As you can see, it's a project, and you can look at. Oh, you've got this Android view, which allows you to do things like look at. Oops, I didn't want the manifest. It's thinking about it. Oh, nice. Okay, now it's okay. It's completely done Android view, and you can look at just your source code, and they have integration tests or Android tests, and they also have unit tests. And we'll see how to do all of this stuff. But you can also open up the layouts. And this is one of the cool things about Android. Okay, we're being buzzed by helicopters. Is that it gives you this this editor for working with your screens, and so you can view it as here in design mode, or you can just look at the raw XML, or you can have side by side. And you can do drag and drop. And here again, we'll see all this stuff later. I'm not going to geek out on it now. Instead, we want to have a run configuration. So you run Android applications inside Android Studio, just the way that you run Java applications inside IntelliJ, which is like with the run button. And I think when the first time you try to run it, it'll say, aha, error running the app because there's no target device. So Android applications, you can plug in a device into your USB and you can run it that way. But what we're going to do in this class is just use the emulator. And so the emulator is a software emulator of a hardware device. And this is something that manufacturers provide so that developers can develop on their devices even though they don't own the device. So the way you create one of these things, can I click on it? No. You use this icon over here called the AVD Manager for the Android Virtual Device Manager. And here again, this wraps some command line tools and stuff. And so now you use you can create your virtual device, and you can click refresh here to get all of the ones that come out of the box. I like using this one that's for me chosen by default, Pixel 2. It's a phone with a 5-inch screen, and so now you can just create one of these guys, and then you can choose your API level. Let's just choose the most recent one, API 30. Oh, and then you must select the system image. Oh, I guess I need to download it. That's cool. I will download it from here and say yes. Here again, I have read over this license before. I trust it. I believe that it's okay for me. So I will now download and install all of this stuff. There's a lot of it. So again, with the fast music. looks like it's all done. Click finish there. So now it's got that. It's all happy. We have a system image, and now we'll configure some information about the ABD. I think all the defaults are fine. You can change the orientation. There's some advanced settings like the camera and everything. Nope, we're all good there. Click finish. Great. Now we've got one, and if you notice up here, now we have a configuration that we can run. And so when we run it, this will build. Well, first of all, it starts up the device itself, and so you've got something that looks a lot like a phone, and this is the emulator. So the emulator basically has a software representation of the device of the phone, and you have all this little icon bar, this menu bar of no, sorry, not menu, toolbar of various things you can do. You can change the and these are kind of some of the physical things that you can do to the machine. You can change the volume, you can rotate it, you can take a screenshot, you can zoom, and then you've got the 3 buttons that all Android devices have for back, home, and overview. And there's other stuff that you can do too. So thinking about it, probably shouldn't have done that while it was loading up. One thing to note is that the the Android devices do take. Oh, look, you can set where its location is. I think it's a mountain view. That's a nice place for it. All sorts of fun stuff that you can do there. Okay, now the emulator is starting up, and it's initializing. It's doing some things. It's actually pretending it's a phone, right? And so it's got to boot up. The first time you boot it up, again, it does some initialization, all sorts of good stuff like that. And Android Studio is driving all of this stuff. It's communicating with the device and it's trying to figure out if it's booted up yet. And once it does that, it will build the application and deploy the app to the phone. And then it'll start it up again on the device. And there it is. This is our simple phone bill application. It comes with some things built in, like a little menu. And so you click on the the device to interact with it, just like you would tap on it, and you can do things like click on buttons. That takes you to a different screen and back. You can click on this little icon right here. It pops up a little toast or a little bar saying, "Yep, put your own action here." And you can interact with like the buttons down here to go back to the previous screen. You can go back to the home with plus, and then here again, click and drag just like you would to find your phone bill application. And there you are back again. And finally, when you're done with and so what you do when you develop with Android Studio is that you make changes to your code and you and you run your unit tests and then you deploy off to the phone, and then you can try it out. You can have really nice rapid development that way. It's actually pretty cool, and that all this stuff works. But again, it does take a hefty enough machine to be able to run the emulator and run Android Studio all at the same time. When you're done with the emulator, you can either power off the device or you just close the emulator or quit out of the application. You do it that way, and it shuts down the phone, and that's it. You can start it up again by running, and it'll on there. Yep, there it is. There's your application. Okay, I guess I went back to the home screen. Oh, there it is, starting again. Nice. And that's all the stuff that I wanted to cover today. Basically, starting your first Android application, you'll have code that you can check into to GitHub. Again, you've got all of the same. Look at all that good stuff. You've got all the same functionality that you've come to love in IntelliJ, now in Android Studio, and it has a whole bunch more stuff for doing Android. Anyway, I just wanted to give you an overview of all of this. Please, please, please go through this on your own. Make sure you can get it to work environment. If you have any questions or concerns or just general feedback, please post about it on the Project 5 channel in Slack. And I will see you in class. See you later.